If you're planning your very first Disney World trip, there are a few things that can catch you completely off guard, even if you've been researching for a bit. And I'm not talking about bring sunscreen kind of advice. I mean, the kind of things that can affect your whole trip, how much planning you need, how long it takes to get anywhere, and even a few weird surprises that you would never expect. So, in this video, I'm walking you through 10 things most Disney World first timers don't know so you can feel prepared and have a much smoother trip. Hi, I'm Shannon from WDW and we're all about strategic planning for smart travelers going to Disney World. And if you're a first timer, welcome. You're going to have the best time and hopefully learn a lot. And also, you might be surprised by some of the things that are on this list because Disney World is basically its own little world, you might say, and it has its own rules. So let's jump into 10 things most first timers don't know. Number one, Disney has its own language. You may have already come across this as you have started to research, but Disney World planning comes with the whole vocab that you don't realize that you need until you're in it. So people will throw around terms like rope drop and ADR and quick service and rider switch. And it can feel like you're learning a new language, but don't let it intimidate you. Once you learn a handful of the most common terms, everything will get easier fast. When we do content, we try to mix it up and do a little bit of both so that you can see what something means as well as the abbreviation for it. So that when you come across the abbreviation in the wild, you'll know what people are talking about. Number two, reservations and a lot of planning in general are a huge must. First time visitors often underestimate how much time you need to plan because most places don't require as much planning as Disney World. But Disney World's not the kind of trip where you can just show up and wing it for most of us, especially if you're trying to get very competitive things done, like character meals, or if you want to navigate the parks without long waits. Dining reservations open 60 days out, and if you want popular options, you will need to be ready right when they open. The biggest takeaway from this point is that the more you plan ahead, the less stressful your trip will feel once you're there. But when you start planning, a lot of times you don't even know that it is necessary. Number three, there is no gum sold anywhere at Disney World. This one might feel random, but it surprises a lot of people. Disney and a lot of places in Orlando, including the airport, don't sell gum because they want to keep things as tidy as possible. So if you're a gum person, make sure you pack your own and, of course, dispose of it correctly. Number four, Disney World transportation will probably take longer than you expect. The transportation system is great. There's buses, there's monorails, there's boats, there's a Skyliner, but it can take a lot of time. A good rule of thumb is to plan on about an hour each way when you're traveling somewhere. Hopefully, it'll take less, but that way, just in case, you will have a lot of enough time. This is why I'm always recommending that you choose dining locations near where you're already going to be. So if you're going to be in a park, where can you eat at that park or nearby? If you're staying at a resort, where can you eat at that resort or nearby? Because it can really reduce the transportation time and it's a lot more convenient. If you're going resort to resort, you may even need to allow up to 90 minutes for transportation. And this is why we actually end up using rideshare to go more direct. But I know for families with kids in car seats, that is not always an option. Number five, the boardwalk area exists. If you're not staying at the boardwalk, you may not even realize that it is there. It is located just outside Epcot's World Showcase exit entrance, which is between the UK and France pavilions in the World Showcase. And it's a great spot for restaurants, entertainment, and there are several hotels back there. And it's really lovely, especially in the evening, just to stroll and see some of the things going on, have dinner, etc. If you're staying at a Skyliner resort, it's very easy to access because the Epcot station basically deposits you right there and then you can walk around. Number six, most first timers don't realize how huge Disney World is. It is 40 square miles. And to put that in perspective, that is the size of San Francisco, that is twice the size of Manhattan. And people do not understand it. It is massive. Four theme parks, water parks, a couple dozen hotels, Disney Springs, etc. Once you understand the scale, that transportation time that I mentioned earlier makes a lot more sense. And hopefully also makes you realize why you cannot do everything in one trip. And you shouldn't even try because it's a city and nobody tries to accomplish everything in a city in one trip. Number seven, you can trade pins with cast members and other guests. Pin trading is a whole subculture within the Disney parks niche. You can bring pins on a lanyard and trade with cast members and sometimes other guests. If you've never done it before, it's one of those small Disney only experiences that can be really fun, especially for kids, but adults do it a lot too. And it can be a sort of a fun hobby to develop as you start going to the Disney parks. Number 8, the My Disney Experience app is essential. It is an app that you will need for almost everything at Disney World. If you're hoping to completely unplug and go on vacation, I get it, but realistically, you're going to need this app for a lot. That includes checking wait times, viewing maps, placing mobile orders, looking at entertainment schedules, booking lightning lanes, managing your dining reservations, etc. You can start by doing this at home. So download it way before your trip, get familiar before you arrive, and make sure you bring a portable charger, external battery, because you will be on your phone a lot, even if you don't want to be. Number 9, adults can ride big rides even if the kids won't or can't. So, if you are traveling with young kids who don't meet height requirements or they're too scared to go on a lot of rides, you can still ride it if you want to because Disney has a system called Rider Switch. The basic gist of this system is that somebody in your group, an adult, preferably stays with a child who can't or won't ride while the rest of the group rides. And then when they get off, they can switch, rider switch, and the second group that goes through can go through without having to re-wait in that line. Sometimes the kid, if you have an older kid who likes to ride, they can go with the first group and the second group. That's one of the perks of the rider switch system. So the way that you do this is you approach the cast member at a ride, you say we would like to rider switch, and they will add that to your account. Number 10, you will suffer from Disney withdrawals. This is something I warn first timers about every time because when something requires this much work, it basically becomes a hobby and occupies a lot of your time. And for a lot of us, this becomes a fun hobby that we want to continue. But after your trip, what do you do with all that energy? You either need to find another hobby to fill that time or you need to plan a Disney World trip. That is the only option. So those are 10 things that most first timers don't know. If you're a first timer, did you know some of them? Did you learn anything? Are there questions you have? I hope that you will share those in the comments below. And hopefully you'll stick around because we have lots of information here to help you plan your trip. I would love to hear from you in the comment section, and I appreciate you watching. Thanks for joining.